Someone once said, I've never had bullets fly by my head, but I've experienced freedom because of men who did. Forever thankful to every veteran's sacrifice. This is Vets and Coffee, the podcast. Finally, a podcast 100% about veterans. Looking at veterans making a difference in the veterans community. We'll help veterans, and we'll spotlight veteran-owned businesses and businesses that support and hire veterans. Plus, guzzle down some amazing coffee. Welcome to Vets and Coffee, the podcast. Now your host, Tree McLean.
There's a button I couldn't find anywhere. Good evening, world. How are we doing this evening? Well, I know we're not watching the Astros, that's for sure, because I'm on my podcast, but neither is anyone else since there's a rain delay tonight. So we've got a guest on tonight from the BFW post in Tomball, Texas, where Bailey and I go to school at for training. And this is Martin Tycho Cobb, Army veteran. Welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you. You know, I was just telling you that I was telling Sam, our trainer, that I can't make it to the public access to this tonight because I was going to have you on, and you know it was important to take care of the VFW post because they're so good to us and letting us train our dogs at y'all's post. You know,
if I'd have known that, we should have done the podcast from the VFW, and like right after Bailey passed, we could have started the podcast then. But yeah, I wasn't even thinking so. Sorry about that,
I actually thought about that, but I was supposed to meet someone for lunch right after school Saturday, and at the last minute, he couldn't make it. And I was like, well, I didn't have my equipment with me, so I couldn't do it. But yeah, I thought about doing it up there because we did a podcast the weekend. Your motorcycle association presented a check to the organization.
Yeah, so, I think that's when I first met you. Is when you were interviewing a bunch of people. On your podcast that time.
Yeah.
Combat Vets.
Yep, chapter 23 through 29. Now, I actually built a Patriot knife. I don't know if you know this about me, but I built a knife called the Patriot knife for 17 years, and I built 411 of them. They were all donated. I never sold any myself. I only donated them to veteran and first responder causes or awarded them to individuals. So I built one for the y'all's association at the national meeting in El Paso.
Oh, so this past year. Okay.
Gotcha. No, it was a few years
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this past year was in Louisville. That's right.
Yeah, it was a badass knife. The bolster on it had, I used the clutch off of a Harley, but it had for the bolster on the top, but it actually had a skull on the end of it.
Oh yeah, that must have made some people happy.
Yeah, it worked out perfect. I heard it went for over 10,000 at auction or something.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yeah. So that was a neat looking knife, and of course I use the colors in the handle as well. You know. Yeah. So
I'm gonna have to see a picture of that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I quit building knives back in January because of my health and my legs, and I put everything into storage. And I've been going to wound care center straight since January. Because I get holes in my legs. I'm not diabetic, but I just get really poor circulation in my legs. Well, they got a new product they're using on my legs that promotes circulation, and my legs have never felt better.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm actually going to get back into building knives again. So I'm going to start building the Patriot knives again. I'd like to reach 500 and call it quits at 500, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so number 500, that'll go up high, you know, because I had some knives go for 18,000 at auction for all.
I'm gonna have to get one of those last 89 there. I don't know if I can do 10,000, but
yeah. So I love doing it. So I've been volunteering all my life. I love to volunteer. I love to help people, and it looks like you do your share of it yourself.
I do. I think that selfishly helping other people makes me happy. So, I say that it's kind of a selfless act maybe, but I do it selfishly. I love helping people because, it just makes me feel better. So,
yeah, it does. It does. I always tell people that because of my nerve pain I deal with, I now have an addiction, and they say, no, pain meds. I say, no, giving. I'm addicted to giving because it feels so good. When you build a knife, out of your garage with no AC, no heating, and you donate it, and it raises $18,000 at auction. That's the greatest high ever. I mean,
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean,
yeah,
the biggest reaction that I've had is when someone can look you in the eye, and maybe you helped them change a tire, maybe you helped them, get uh, a roof on their house or whatever it may be, or maybe just help them get some groceries. But the look on people's faces when they look you face to face, and they're actually thankful for what you did, and that you've helped someone. To me, there's no better feeling in the world than that. It could be 20,000 people in Minute Maid Park, 40,000 screaming your name, which is also something that is pretty amazing. But uh,
yeah. I heard
there's
that
nothing.
recently happened to you.
I did, and they caught me off guard. Hector and Sean Ellis and all them guys. I thought I was going to help escort World War II veterans like Hector always does.
Yeah,
So he called me earlier in the day and was like, "Do you want to go?" And I was assuming I was going to be escorting. So he sent me the tickets, and I saw where they were, and I've seen where they sit before, and sure enough, I was the one being honored. So that was crazy to hear that. But
yeah.
yeah,
He told
to,
me
to
about
help
that too.
someone to help someone, that's amazing. So I
Yeah,
actually I look at Hector all the time to try to help people. RG from 8790, Sean Ellis from
yeah, yeah,
2427.
yeah.
It's a great network
It
of
is.
veterans that just want to help people.
Yeah, it is. So I actually I've never been in a joining post or anything like that, but I actually signed up with the Hector's American Legion post, and I'm gonna sign up at RG's post too. But I because it's in my neighborhood.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I was actually talking to Hector earlier about how many tickets he got and donated. So I made a posting, and of course, someone gets on there and had to badmouth Hector, and I'm like, give it up.
Badmouth Hector?
Yeah, oh yeah,
For
yeah.
what?
I know,
What could
I
you
know. It's
badmouth
just,
Hector about?
I know. So I deleted the posting, and I'm like, oh come on, really?
Right.
I think it's a lot of jealousy, that they don't get they're not in the limelight like he is, but it's just he does a lot of good.
Yeah, he does a lot of good. It's very
He does.
possible. That's what
He
it is.
does. Yeah, yeah.
Haters gonna hate.
That's right. So, how long were you in the army?
I was in the army for 18 years, 7 months.
Wow.
My career got cut short due to some back issues, so I actually ended up
Were
medical.
you
I
a
started
tanker?
a No, no, no. I was electronic warfare, signal, and I started out with the military police corps.
Yeah.
I was actually with the military police for about 10 years. So I felt like, that was my people. That's who I learned from. That was my mentors. But just so many deployments, training at Fort Campbell, and things like that. And I'm a big guy, so I think my back just gave out on me after about 17 years, and
So it is
it
good.
was yeah. I had 7 deployments, and yeah. Cool, I like that. And an 8th one was upcoming if I went back to Fort Campbell to end my career, and I just started a med board, and luckily they allowed me to medically retire early
Oh, that's
because I
good.
had over 18 years. So
Yeah, I was in the reserves, and I took the career role and went in federal law enforcement, civilian side. I wish I'd stuck to the army instead.
I got a bunch of buddies that are in the civilian side. We got a band that practices at the VFW. There's a bunch of federal and otherwise law enforcement officers, border patrol and stuff. A lot of federal guys. So.
Yeah, yeah.
There's actually there's an ATF agent that's in the class with you for a rescue for PTSD. He's in CVMA as well. So
Really?
yeah,
Hmm.
I love I was actually Got Your Six does this. They do these crisis things for shirts for first responders, police officers, and all that stuff. So I'm always trying to get them in the hands of those guys, and I keep on forgetting, but I'll get them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
Houston
think I know.
has a huge veteran network, so
Oh, I know that is the second in the country, second largest in the country.
no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. And we're like only 200,000 away from California. California's got the most veterans, but I mean,
Well, yeah,
we're only like 200,000 away.
right. We'll
But
get there.
I think they've all moved to Texas this past year.
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does. It sure does. So, when did you sign up with the army?
I signed up in 1998. Actually, went to basic near the end of '98. Finished. I had a long AIT, so it was somewhere in the middle of '99. And then
Yeah.
my first duty station was Fort Campbell, and um, went there and ended up staying there for about a decade. Lots of deployments, lots of stuff happened in that very short time
Yeah.
frame
Oh
of
yeah.
about
Yeah.
not 2000 to about 2005. Lots of things happened all over the world, and I
Oh
went
yeah.
and saw them.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So when you got out, how was your transition?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've said this to hundreds of people. If when I got out, the Army took care of me because I deployed so many times. I had a lot of stuff that was documented. So by the time I got out, my actual final out day, I knew what my percentages were. I knew how I was getting my medication. I knew everything. So I did not have a bad experience with the VA TRICARE, the med board process, which turned into a medical retirement, all that. I didn't have any issues with that. But the VFW, the combat vets, these organizations, they literally saved my life because you get out and you don't realize how, you know, militarized you are,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just do things a certain way, and so when you get out and have to do things a civilian way, it's a bit of a challenge. And my wife hasn't been in HR for 25 years, so she was coaching me on how, to approach being in civilian life. And you know, uh, sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit too militant. It was hard to transition, but through friends, through organizations that have some sort of veteran service attached to it, then I was able to make the best of it, and pretty quickly, and hopefully I'll be able to pay that back to other people by helping them navigate.
You had a great support network. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So and that's the importance of the VFW. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And we need
That's
to
I
get
mean, there's such a terrible stigma on the VFW that it's just a bunch of old guys sitting around
smoking
smoking
drunks.
cigarettes, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
drinking. But
Yeah.
really, we don't have a lot of that going on. There's a lot of people that are worried about service officers getting people the benefits they deserve, taking care of the children and widows, or uh, any spouse that has passed away. We take care of the spouses of the kids, take care of the kids of the service people. Excuse me. So it is not the same VFW that you may have heard about in the 70s, 60s, or something. It's
It's changed.
we're
Oh
actually
yeah.
out there in the community helping. That's what we
Yeah.
want to be.
Yeah. Yep. And Tomball does a lot. They really do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it be a cook-off to bring people in, whether it be a concert to bring people in, we're trying to do things to get veterans in the building, so they can see it, for one, see how we can help them, see how they fit in, and then for two, we also want the public to see what we do. So we want the public to come in, rent the hall. We want them to
Hmm.
be there. We want them to, kind of talk to and ask questions about what goes on in the military. We love answering them. So, yeah, we've tried to liaise with, local chambers of commerce, local businesses, try to be involved with everything that's going on in the community, whether it be veteran centric or not. So we just want to be a part of the community. And because we know we can help, and veterans are very capable of helping in many different facets of business or life or fun, recreation, all that.
Oh yeah. 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 So that's great. So what is Got Your Six all about?
Got Your Six is one of my buddies' t-shirt companies. So essentially, he's a retired senior chief in the Navy, and he's from Louisiana, from New Orleans, and he was a recruiter for a lot of years, and he's got a servant heart as well, very empathetic of people, understands situations. And he and his wife, who's very creative, they just want to help veterans as well. So they started doing these shirts, um, for first responders, for veterans, just to bring awareness to and help for veterans that need it. So, case in point, what I was telling you earlier in the earlier email was Got Your Six raised over, I think, $14,000 for the Project Zero with a charity golf tournament. So the Project Zero is another gentleman I was talking. Oh, thank you. Is another gentleman I was talking about, Kyle Shudik, that he gets much needed therapy, or not medical attention, but more therapy for veterans with PTSD and otherwise, and
I,
first responders.
I
So
think I met Kyle Shudik. His name sounds so familiar to me.
Yeah, probably. I
Yeah.
mean, he does like overlanding with he's got a Jeep network, like a Jeep group. He's doing a car
Mhm.
show at the VFW. He's got the Project Zero that does, therapy for veterans and first responders. He's everywhere. So
That's awesome. So you've got a big event coming up at the VFW Post, working with USO.
yeah, yeah. I work for Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. So yeah, on the 3rd of November from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we're going to try and, well, we're not going to try. We're going to complete 10,000 care packages to send downrange to deployed soldiers or deployed military members. So we'll start about 10 a.m. and we should get done with that at about 3:34. They're telling me that 10,000 could go could take the whole 6 hours, could go a little bit earlier, but then after that we're going to have a concert for the public and for all the people that worked it with Jimmy Vaughn and the Tilt-A-Whirl band. So they'll be on our outdoor stage there at the Tomball VFW.
Now, is that what day of the week is that?
Yeah, it's on a Thursday.
That's what I was wondering because we have school on
Right.
that Saturday. I'm going, that's a
Right.
November 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we do, it is on a Thursday, but that's the only little drawback. But
Yeah. I
they've
was
already
going to ask
raised
you.
over $20,000, so it's doing okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are you working or are you just retired? But now I know you're working for Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah, I don't originate loans. Actually, I'm on the veterans team. So essentially, what we do is we do webinars twice a week, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. We're just educating people on the VA loan specifically, but we'll do any loan. But yeah, I do marketing and IT, business development, that kind of thing. I do what everybody tells me. I just don't originate.
Okay, that's great. Great. Yeah. So all these care packages need items to go inside of them. Who's paying for those items and where are they coming from?
Well, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, the VFW, and USO are in Mutual of Omaha Mortgage, of course. They're all getting together, and so they've already purchased everything that will go in. We are going to be putting some flyers in there from the VFW. And I think there's a couple other things that Mutual of Omaha Mortgage wants to put in there, but it's for the troops, but it's informational and all that kind of stuff. But they're going to bring in an 18-wheeler on the 2nd. We're going to have a bunch of pallets, and then the assembly of the items will happen on the 3rd. So we've already got all the stuff we need for the packages. It's going to be pre-poed there in the VFW, and we'll just assemble them and ship them out.
So are you needing volunteers or are you going to have enough members to do it?
Well, we're always wanting volunteers, but not only do we want volunteers, we actually want people there to witness it. We want people to see what we're doing. We want people to come to the concert. So yeah, we want businesses to come. We would love to have sponsors if you would like to sponsor or donate money to the USO Care Package event. That'd be great. But yeah, we want as many people there as possible just to see what we're doing, and then at 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the afternoon, watch Jimmy Vaughn and the Tilt-A-Whirl band and 10 Cadillacs opening for them. So that's a blues band from right here in Houston. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Well, maybe we can do this. Maybe we'll come out and set up and do a live podcast out there that day.
Absolutely.
To promote it and promote the concert. Maybe get some more people out there from the live podcast.
Sure. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll do that. So, hey, Bailey, you want to do that, huh? She just jumped up like, what? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Bailey said, is there a camera? I'm there.
Where's my, I know, right? Let me see if I can get her to come up. No, her camera's not working. For some reason, I can't get her camera working tonight. I don't know what the deal is, but Bailey has her own camera, and for some reason, it's not working tonight. I don't know why, but
have you seen those dog houses that people have inside their houses where they like do a linen closet or some kind of closet into a dog house and have TVs and everything in there? Have you seen those little videos?
Yeah, I have.
Oh my goodness. You need to get one of those for Bailey.
Well, when she was a puppy, at 8 weeks of age, she got her from a family friend.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got her, I put her in her kennel at 8 weeks of age. She went right to sleep, and which was great. I was like, wow, this is going to be an awesome lab, 8 weeks old and sleeping in her kennel with not a peep out of her. But the next night I put her in her kennel and she was crying her eyes out. And I'm like, oh no, what's wrong with her? And I'm laying in bed and I've got a horrible nerve pain in my legs and my neuropathy's real bad. And I have no feeling in my right leg and my right foot. And I'm miserable. I'm in such pain. And she's crying her eyes out. I'm thinking, is she sick or something, So I let her out of her kennel. and she circled me in my bed whimpering.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, oh, I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm in so much pain. And I said, I don't need a sick puppy. And puppies, when they're little, they have very warm bellies. And she laid her belly right on my leg where the pain was coming from. And I mean, 8 weeks of age, this little
Right.
ball of fur is laying on my leg, and it felt so good. I went right to
Right.
sleep.
Oh wow.
She hasn't slept in a kennel since. She sleeps right next to my legs.
Now, I mean, I know that Sam and Laura have heard this story, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. That is an amazing story. And I tell you, that's exactly when I met Laura in the Rescue for PTSD. Hearing those stories, you hear those with Honor, you hear those with Mikey, and all the dogs that I've seen go through that program. But that is what makes them do what they do. The Rescue for PTSD, man. Just that story alone, because
I
that's one
mean,
of the I don't know what you call it exactly, because I'm usually sitting in the background, but that's one of the disciplines they teach is the compression, and how old was it again? 5 weeks,
she was 8 weeks old.
8 weeks old, and already
Yeah,
learned that. That's
no one taught
crazy.
that. I mean, we didn't going to school till she was 6 months old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
she
I
was
mean,
probably whimpering because she could tell you were in pain.
yeah, yeah. And
That is cool, man. That
yeah,
is
this
such a
is her when
cool.
she started going to school
Bailey.
when she
Yeah,
was just a pup. Yeah. But she
that's a good looking uh harness right there.
yeah, that was her puppy harness. I still have that puppy harness. It's one of those things that will probably hang on till ever.
Very
But
cool.
that's my logo on the side of it with Patriot Knife Coffee.
Oh yeah, no, I was looking at your website earlier.
Yeah. So she she'll hug you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's neat about her is I was at RG's post.
8790.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm there, and there was a young girl there. She came over to see Bailey and asked if she could pet her, and I said yes. And I gave Bailey the command to visit, which Bailey knows. Okay, I can visit with this person, and she's being real nice to her. And then Bailey laid on the floor next to her and laid her head on the girl's foot. And I said, "Is there anything wrong with your foot?" And she
Oh
goes, "Why?"
no.
She goes, "Why?" I said, "Just asking because Bailey's laying her head on your foot." She goes, "Well, I got cerebral palsy,
Oh
and
wow.
it's really bad on my right leg and foot."
Oh wow.
And she picked up on it. But we were at a restaurant one day, and she was just probably 6 months old. Flying Fish Restaurant on North Shepherd, delicious fish. If you ever in the North Shepherd area, really good food. They're dog friendly, vet friendly. They give you a veteran discount, but it's not why I go there. They got great seafood. But we're in there, and Bailey keeps looking over at this little boy, and the little boy keeps looking at Bailey. And we got done eating, and I said, "Bailey, my service dog, is just dying to meet your son." And she goes, "Oh, so is my son. She wants to meet your dog." And she goes, "So that's your service dog?" I said, "Well, she's in training." She goes, "Well, my son's going to get a service dog." I said, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, he's got real bad anxiety." And she picked up on it.
Mm.
Yeah. So they became buddies. And before I shut down my shop, she used to come over to the shop once a week with her son just to see Bailey.
Oh wow.
And she said because of those visits, he was a better kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
No doubt.
they do a lot of good. But she wakes me up at night if she hears a noise because I take amitriptyline for dreams and such. And it'll knock me out. And if she hears a noise, she'll wake me up. And boy, she scares the crap out of me when she does.
Barking.
Yeah, barking
Okay.
and nudging on me. She drops her body on me. She,
Right.
it's not like she uses her paw like, "Hey, wake up." She just drops her body on me and scares the crap out of me.
Right.
Yeah, but she does that, and she'll help me up out of a chair.
Right.
I can tell her to port, and I can grab her harness, and she'll actually pull on me to help me get up out of a chair.
Oh wow. And
Yeah.
you're like 6'8" or something, right?
Yeah, 6'8". Yeah,
I know I'm a big guy, and I have to look up at you like this. So
Yeah, so yeah, since I've been hospitalized a lot this year, I've actually lost about 45 pounds, and I'm gonna keep working on that.
oh, very good, very good.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, Bailey's an awesome dog. She really is, and that's the other thing about the Rescue for PTSD. I mean, just you know, there's so many veterans that need service dogs, and they need that companionship and so forth like that, and there's a waiting list, with a lot of organizations. Well, with them, you could actually go and get the training yourself and train your own service dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. They let you foster, You can bring your own dog there, and if it passes the personality test, then they'll
Yeah.
train it, or
Yeah.
they'll get you a dog for your. She keeps on. Laura tries to get me a dog, but I can't seem to do it right now. I don't know if it's just because of where I live. I think I just don't want uh, I don't want to have to deal with that here. I wish I had a place where I could have a dog like Bailey, like a farm, like a few acres,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and to be able to let them run. But
Oh
I
yeah.
feel terrible having them right here in this little 8,000 square foot lot or whatever I'm on right now.
You know, I thought you were going to say 8,000 square foot house. I'm going to say what?
No. Lot. The whole lot is 8,000 square feet, I think.
You know, this is Bailey at I volunteer at LBJ Hospital.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know it. A lot of people think county hospital and they think, oh, it's the worst thing around. But LBJ Hospital is an absolutely beautiful hospital, and they have some of the greatest care there. So I volunteer over there, and Bailey goes with me over there. Yeah. So, yep. But as soon as Bailey finishes her schooling and gets her public access tests, we're going to start going to therapy training so I can start taking her to hospitals and visiting patients.
Right.
And kids and so forth like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
She's a great dog. She's perfect for it, you know.
So
Yeah.
is it true? Have you tried to do that for the VA? I heard the VA won't let people bring dogs in. Is that true?
Well, they'll let servicemen that go to the VA for appointments bring their service dogs.
Right. I know. Yeah, that. But I mean, like, would they let you bring a dog into a floor like with the combat veterans? We go visit people at the VA hospital, but are you allowed to bring Bailey there for that? And then,
I have to go through an organization.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm working with an organization, and they give you a list. You know, you have to fill out daily and so forth whenever you go to visits and so forth like that. And once you're on with that organization, a lot of them will let you in and so forth like that.
Okay.
A lot of them won't
Yeah,
let individuals in, you know, because yeah, I run into people all the time, and veterans that they're self-training their service dogs, and they really don't have the know-how
right.
to do it. I mean, one veteran just so happens to be in the class with me. We were at a Texas Boys Outdoors event, and I met him, and I says, "Is this your service dog?" He goes, "Yeah." And the dog was bouncing off the walls all over the place, you know. And by you having a dog like that in a public place or a restaurant, you know, it makes you look bad. You know, it makes other veterans look bad because your dog's not trained. And I gave him a flyer to the Rescue for PTSD. I said, "You really need to go here. You know, if you have PTSD," and he goes, "Oh yeah, I do." I said, "Sign up with them and get the training." Well, he just passed his Good Citizens Award last weekend. He
Oh,
got a
nice.
certificate, yeah, and he's so happy of it. He goes, "Man, I'm so happy to have this dog. It's so well trained and everything, you know,
Right.
and it's a much better dog." Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
no doubt. Is
Bailey
Bailey
and I,
the same where when she has her vest on, she knows she's working, and when she takes it
yeah,
off, she
yeah,
knows she can play or visit?
yeah, yeah. When she takes the vest off, she's a bitch. She won't listen to me. She won't. She's like, "Screw you. I'm playing with the
Right.
ball." Yeah. Yeah. But no, when she puts the vest on, she knows it's working time.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't leave it. I know some vets that'll leave them on there 24/7, but I like to give her a break, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. You know Michael Stone?
I don't think so. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but
He's one of your members, your post, and
my
I've known him.
post?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's Army combat veteran, and I've known him for a long time. But I got him hooked up with him, and his service dog Dom just recently passed his public access test, and he's got his service dog tabs now.
Nice.
Yeah, but he's a much better person with the dog. But he goes to a lot of the warrior group meetings and so forth around to some of the different like Camp Hope and such, and he takes his Bailey with. I mean his service dog Dom with him, you know, and so forth, and it gets along with all the other veterans too.
That's so weird. That's weird that he's a member of my post and I don't know him. That's kind of weird, but I think I remember the dog. That's weird. I remember the dog named Dom. I remember
Yeah,
Laura talking about it. So that's amazing.
yeah, he's yeah, Mike's a good guy. Yeah, in fact, he's hunting this weekend. Lucky him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's he hunting?
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
What's he hunting? Hunting this weekend?
A deer.
Deer. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Gotcha.
bow hunting.
I was
He got
watching
it.
a special. I wanna go shoot some feral hogs with a helicopter for like $2,400. I saw somewhere up in Texas, North
I got to
Texas
do
they were
that a
doing
few
it.
years ago when I was lighter.
In a helicopter?
in a helicopter,
Oh, I thought that would be so cool.
and we did it from an old Huey,
Oh, really?
which was even better because I mean that's the first aircraft we worked on when I first got in the Army.
Right.
We had Hueys, Cobras, and 58s, and then they transitioned to Blackhawks and Apaches. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love those Hueys. But that was neat. That was neat hunting hogs out of a Huey. Yeah, and that it was a neat deal. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. I that was a good time. Yeah. But yeah, if you ever get to do that, you know, and I know there's some organizations that get veterans on helicopter hog hunts. You
Yeah.
know, if I hear one, I'll be sure to put you
Yeah,
in.
you have to let me know about that. I saw a special on it on either on a Facebook video or news channel somewhere, and I was thinking to myself, that's something that I'd want to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So we went out. We did a hog hunt in East Texas at night on a 10,000 acre pasture. Well, not it was a 10,000 acre piece of property, but on the one of the pastures, it was like 1,000 acre pasture.
Hmm.
It was just smooth as could be, and the pasture just fills up with hogs every night. And we went on the Rangers with the LED lighting on them, and we went hauling ass through this field, chasing pigs with shotguns and buckshot. And we loaded up a flatbed truck full of hogs that night. We must have gotten 50 hogs that night.
Nice.
Yeah, but
They're a problem. They need to be gotten.
oh yeah, they do. They tear stuff up big time. Yeah, a lot of fun to shoot. Yeah, and some are good eating too.
Yeah.
Especially those little ones. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I see Hector get some hunts as well. You know.
Yeah, Tom Booth he's another member at Post 2427. He's got some organization, I think it's called Texas Outdoors, and
Mm-hmm.
they do hunts and fishing and things like that. So it's always interesting. I never seem to have time to do it, but I'm very interested in it. I just never have time to do everything that I want to do because I'm busy doing other stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the Astros this year, but every time I was about to start feeling better, I'd end up back in the hospital.
Right.
So I never got to go. You know, and Hector many times said, "Oh, you just let me know when you want to go, and I'll get you a ticket." You know.
Hmm.
I never got to go, but it's all right. It's too much walking on me. Yeah,
Well, let me know if I can do anything. I'll help you any way I can.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I actually had you know, Jeff Gonzalez from Lone Star Warriors Outpost.
I've heard the name. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know him though.
the softball league, the veteran
Right.
softball league. Yeah, he and his wife are both veterans, and they said if you want to go, we'll put you in a wheelchair and wheel you up inside the stadium. You know.
Right.
So, in fact, his sister's a veteran, and she's my co-host, Janice Marino.
Okay.
This is her parachuting over Normandy for the 75th anniversary.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
I mean,
I had a buddy that did that. That
self.
got to go over on one of the anniversaries. I don't know if it was the 75th, but he went over for one of the anniversaries, and there was like a 90-something-year-old veteran that tandem jumped in with.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. So she actually went airborne over in Afghanistan, but then again, she was airborne in Alaska too, and they were doing snow jumping.
Oh wow.
That must have been interesting, you know. And that's
I
where
went
she
to airborne school back in 1999, but I'm one of those guys they call the 5 jump, so I don't talk about airborne that much. I never jumped after one time after I went to jump school. I did a lot of air assault. I was at Fort
Yeah,
Campbell for 10 years, so a lot of
yeah.
air assault operations, sling loading and exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, the Sevolinsky School.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or when I was there, they renamed it to the Kabalowski. No, I'm just joking. It's Sobolowski.
The Thai Cobb School. Yeah.
The Thai Cobb School. Yep.
The Tycho School. Yeah, I thought Tycho had something to do with trains, you know, because
Well,
that
my
Tycho
road
train.
name actually came from my name's Ty. Everybody calls me Ty Cobb, Tycho, but it's more to do with the fact that I kind of look like I got a resting bitch face or something, but for the most part, I'm just like a little teddy bear. So those little Tycho or whatever teddy bears or something. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the name came from. I got it like 15 years ago when I was riding with a group out in Fort Campbell, as a matter of fact. So I think it has to do with that. Looks mean sometimes, but I'm really just a big teddy bear inside, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I met y'all at the. Did you go out to Bombshells for that event?
For a CVMA event,
Yeah.
Yeah,
when they were doing the fundraiser for the Rescue for PTSD?
I don't even no, I don't think I made it to that one. I was at the one where they were at I can't at Tascasita. I can't even think about what the name is, but the fundraiser we did this year, I was at
Yeah.
that one, but I wasn't
Yeah.
at the bombshells one.
Do you have a Woody in your bunch?
Yeah, Scott
Yeah.
Aber. Yep.
Yeah, I met him. Yeah. At
Yeah,
the
he's
bomb
a
place.
Navy guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He rides. He's got a couple bikes. He rides with the American Legion. He rides with CVMA, and I think he does a lot of stuff with the Patriot Guard, or at least knows their schedule. So
Yeah. I actually
yeah, a
had
lot of those guys ride like crazy.
yeah, last Sunday night I had on the president and founder of Thin Blue Line Motorcycle Club.
Oh, I saw that. I was
Yeah.
I was looking at that earlier. That's really cool.
Yeah, so we're actually going to do a live podcast from their clubhouse one day.
Nice.
Yeah, so but yeah, so but on when you have your event with the USO, I'll come out and set up out there, and we'll do a live podcast out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We're so that'd be cool because I'm gonna have a podcast, not a podcast. I'm just gonna record a bunch of stuff and interview some of the leadership of all the different organizations that are going to be there. So I'm gonna record that as well. But that'll be great for the
well, you can
veterans that
do it.
come.
You can do it on the podcast.
Well, sure, yeah.
Everyone you want to
Absolutely.
interview, you can have them on the podcast, and you can record it for yourself as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're real simple. So you can just arrange everyone you want to talk to on and we'll just do it on the podcast. Yeah. And then your buddy at Got Your Six, I'll have them on one day.
Okay.
Yeah. So like this Tuesday, I have another t-shirt company coming on.
Another T-shirt company. What the heck? No, I'm just joking.
I got Grunt Style coming on.
For real? Oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
I got
Grunt Style,
Corrine
nice.
Mako. She's a Marine veteran, Corrine Mako, and she's
Right.
top lead custom lead sales. So like if you're an organization, and you want to have a Grunt Style shirt, you can get Grunt Style shirts for your organization, and with like no money up front. They stock them, they create them and everything. They ship them off for the organization, and the organization makes so much money off each T-shirt.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's a neat deal, So she's going to be talking about that as well,
Yeah, Grunt Style did a shirt for I don't know if it was national or if it was just Texas VFW, but it's got the Buddy Poppies all over it. So
Yeah.
our all of our officers at the Tomball post got one.
I saw
think
that
last
picture
year.
with everyone with them all
Yeah.
on there. It's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
But they did that. That's like a commemorative Grunt Style Club shirt. So it was for the VFW. So
yeah. So
cool.
I'm having this shirt done by them.
Never let them be forgotten. That's nice.
Yeah, and then on the front it says Vets and Coffee, the podcast. That artwork on the back is actually that artwork belongs to me. It looks a lot like other artwork, but that's my artwork.
Man, I love. This is how I was a sergeant first class in the Army, and I tell you, I can militarize any operation. Put that picture back up real quick.
What's that?
Put your
Yeah.
T-shirt back up again. The detail of where this stencil of Vets and Coffee, the podcast, where it looks like it's got the overspray on it right there around.
Yeah.
That is freaking cool right there. I like that.
Because when we used to spray paint our duffel bags,
Right, yeah,
and everything, we'd always have overspray.
right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let me see if it shows up. You can see it on here. You see it on there?
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't
So-
notice that before, but yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on another project. I'll tell you about it off the air, but it'll be a neat thing, and I'm gonna have that on there as well. I'll tell you about it in a while and everything, but I'm not ready to announce it to the world yet. But it'll be good. But yeah, I like that. I've got a good friend of mine, Casey Dwyer. He's a graphic artist up in Round Rock, and I give him my ideas, and we put together stuff, and he works with me, and he does good work for me.
Right.
And so, yeah.
So
But,
what brought you to Houston to start doing this? Because this, I mean, I've watched a lot of them. I went back and watched a lot of them when I met you at the VFW, and then of course once you asked me to come on, I went back and looked at more of them. But what got you to Houston, and what made you start doing this? Was it the fact that you just needed an outlet, or
yeah, I needed something else to do
right?
because my legs. I mean, it really. Someone asked me to come on to the. They've got a knife show coming up next month or this month. That's it's sponsored by Forge and Fire. It's going to be up in Conroe,
Hmm.
and I said no, I'm not interested. And they said, well, I looked at your profile and you're perfect for it. I said no, I'm not interested. And the reason I wasn't interested is because I was heartbroken. I couldn't build knives anymore.
Hmm.
I love building knives. I love building chef knives, and it was just heartbreaking. I couldn't do it anymore because of my legs. And the feeling I get from building a knife and donating it is like the greatest feeling of all.
Hmm.
I mean, we were at a event for a Navy SEAL, and I was on my crutches, and the knife went up to like $450, and I said, "Man, this is crazy." Let's tell a story behind the knife. I mean, my family dates back to the American Revolution. I mean, I can count on one hand how many men in my family that didn't fight for our country. It's in between wars or large families and everything. I mean, my grandfather on my father's side, my father served in the Navy during Korea, but my grandfather was blind in one eye, and his four brothers all signed up for WW2, and they took them, but they wouldn't take him because he was blind in one eye. So he became a volunteer firefighter, and then he became a battalion chief, and so forth up north, up New York, because he's a volunteer, you know,
Hmm.
and that's a proud thing right there. He's not going to sit back while his brothers are fighting for the country. He's going to help out his community as well. I have a great uncle that was killed in Okinawa on Sugarloaf Hill, and in WW2. And doing my ancestry of, his name's Foster, and Sugarloaf Hill is now called Camp Foster. It's a Marine Corps base. And I thought, wow, is it named after him? But I kind of find out there was a PFC William A. Foster in his platoon that jumped on a grenade and saved 6 Marines. It was named after him. But I've got all these neat little stories I found out. My great grandfather on my father's side was from Germany and came over and fought for us in World War One, and became the postmaster in Medford, New York, on Long Island.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then I got family history going back to the American Revolution and everything, and we're a very patriotic family, and so 4 Navy SEALs picked me up and put me on stage, and I told the story, and then the knife sold for 18,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, that's the thing that I miss the most, I think, about the military. There's fulfillment of completing the mission. That's great. What we were meant to do as a military, but the interaction with all of those leaders, the people that you're friends with, the people that you look up to, the people that you may not like, you're going to learn something from everything. And I think the thing that I like the most is all the stories we took away. You learn that little piece of something about somebody that endears them to you for the rest of their life. So I still talk to some of the people about uh, conversations we had before we went over the berm in '03 in Iraq. I remember sitting on cots and just, with some staff. So I was a specialist at the time. Some Staff Sergeant Barnes, Staff Sergeant Hughes, who, Sergeant First Class Woodring. These are in my world. These are heroes. You know, these are heroes that I want to talk about and hear from all the time. That's what I miss the most is those stories. They're so sentimental. They mean something, and it just makes you feel good about what you did.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a group of veterans in my neighborhood. I used to help out a Korean War veteran, a couple Korean War veterans, and Vietnam veterans, and Korean War veterans that passed away from COVID and other stuff, and pneumonia and so forth. And then I'm down to one Vietnam veteran. I help out, take him out to lunch and out to eat and shopping and stuff like that when he needs help. And the stories they have are the greatest. I just love those
Hmm.
stories. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
love
love
those.
I love sitting and listening to some of the Vietnam, and then if we have a World War II veteran, I love hearing what they did. Just sitting and listen to them for 15, 20 minutes, or as long as they'll talk. Really, I just love hearing those.
Yeah, yeah, those
I got.
great old
I tell
stories.
you, a funny story. Tom Booth got us like this little Apple TV thing that has programming and sports on it, and it's at the post now. So we were watching TV the other day, and a bunch of commercials came on, and all it was literally just stream after stream of some. They had Micklix being fired. They had all different types of helicopters, rotary wing, fixed wing, vehicles, people moving, shooting, and communicating. And we literally sat there and watched it for 15 minutes. I'm 48 years old. We're watching what we did when we were 20 something, and it was mesmerizing. So yeah, I guess I miss it a lot, but the memories that I have, that's what I'm fondest of. I'm happy that I would do it over. That's what I'll tell you. I would do it over again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I actually wanted to be a drill sergeant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I was in boot camp, they lost my 201 file. And the day we all graduated, we're all sitting outside formation in the parking lot next to the by the supply building, and the first sergeant's calling out everyone's names, giving them their files, and they have these 2 milk crates sitting there, and they're empty. I'm sitting there all by myself. I'm looking up at him, and he's looking at me, looking at the milk crate, looking at my drill sergeant, looking at me, looking at the Captain Trotter, looking at me, and he's like, "What's going on here? Where's his file at?" So I was a holdover. And I had to retest everything. I had to go through everything and retest. And the drill sergeant said, "Hey, get your unit patches sewn on your uniform. Otherwise, the drill sergeant's going to be dropping you every time they see you,
Right.
So I did that. And they had me, covering for them while they're out partying or something at night or something. But I had a blast. And when they brought in the cattle cars with the new troops for the next trainees that came in, I just happened to be I was like sergeant of the guard that day while they were down there picking them up at the reception. And one of the drill sergeants had one of their extra covers there. So I picked it up and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and all I have is my brown t-shirt on, my BDUs. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, "Damn, that looks good." And then those old barracks at Fort Dix, if you're 6'8", you take up the whole door.
Right.
So I'm standing in the doorway looking out, and these trainees are coming off those cattle cars, running, with their backpacks and their civilian suitcases, and some are crying, they're red faced and all cheeks are all red and everything. And I see this one looking at me, and I just yelled at him, "Just get down." And I'm yelling at him,
and they got down.
I hear this voice saying, "McLean, are you having fun?" And our company commander standing behind me in the hallway.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Oops, sorry." I said, "Yeah, that was fun."
Did he keep that between you and him, or?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But it was a lot of fun. I was like, "Man, this seems to be a lot of fun." Yeah. So yeah, I actually almost thought about doing that. Yeah. But stories, about things, are the greatest. It's just, we had in my old unit, we had a pilot that flew the Hueys, and he was a pilot in Vietnam, and he was also a pilot for Southwestern Airlines, and he was the biggest drunk. And he'd show up to weekend duties and everything in his Southwest Airlines uniform, 3 sheets to the wind. He just came off the flight, and he's changing into his flight suit so he can have his reserve weekend. But he was a great pilot. But the stories he had, he loved to talk. He was hilarious.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was a funny guy. Yeah.
So what years did you serve?
87 through 93.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So I remember when my father was a Marine, my brother's in the Navy. So I pretty much knew I was hey, Bailey, I pretty much knew I was going to be in the military, but I wasn't positive yet. But as let's see what year, I guess it was my freshman year of high school is when Operation Desert Storm and Silver Lining went on. And I had an English teacher that was adamant that we write letters to troops, and ask them to be pen pals and stuff when we were freshmen. And I remember it stood out in my brain because up until that time, I didn't really know what war was. I read about it in the history books, heard about it a little bit from my father who was in Vietnam. But, it really hit home that, I was a freshman in high school and there was a possibility that, either I was going to join or what happens if a big war breaks out again, and, lo and behold, it did. And I had joined. So I was actually in Kosovo in 2001 when 9/11 happened. So, the pucker factor went pretty tight when we were in Kosovo, and then from then on it was deploy, come home, get ready to deploy, deploy, come home, get ready to deploy. It was a bit of a cycle there for about 6 or 7 years, but the memories that you make up in those 6 or 7 years, some of them are painful, but for the most part, you know that you can reach out to any of those people that you served with, and they'll have your back now. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's always a good feeling to have. So
yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, stories are the greatest. Yeah. So yeah, I have some problems from my civilian life, and because I'm a veteran, Laura let me come to the class and so forth. Because I deal with a lot of neuropathy and nerve pain, and so does she.
hmm
So she said, "Well, you have it. You have PTSD from. We'll go ahead and let you come to school." So I do a lot of promotions for them, and in fact, I just dropped off more coffee. I actually do rescue for PTSD coffee for them,
I
and all
saw that picture. That is awesome.
and that neat. All the blends were named after the different dogs.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So did some already with other dogs' names on them. So I did some more. This time I did it with Dom and
Right.
Baxter and
I don't know if this is good or bad, but sometimes I feel like I remember the dogs' names that are in the class because Dom, Baxter, I know all these dogs' names, but I cannot remember,
can't remember
their
the
human.
handlers' names. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
know.
can't remember the human ever.
I'm the same way. Like IPA is it's got to be named after a beer.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So
I
actually,
I know, like, when I see Mikey, I know who Mikey is, but I can never remember her humans or Mikey's human's name. And then I saw that Mikey's human got another dog the other day that's going to start training as well. So that's really cool as well.
yeah, I
Her
did.
her husband, I think, or her
Yeah. Well,
someone.
Indy, Indy, the shepherd Indy.
Right.
Okay, that's Alicia's, and her husband has a shepherd as well. I just got
Okay.
his service tabs. Yeah.
There's a lot of shepherds in class right now.
Well, I know Laura and Sam are fans of shepherds.
Right.
Yeah, Laura likes labs too. She likes Bailey, but she lost a lab recently too. Yeah.
Laura did.
Yeah, she had a really old lab she had for many years. Yeah.
What was the name? Okay, I don't remember that.
No, I
That's
don't know.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I met him once at their house. I don't think she ever brought him out to the school.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. So
Yeah, we
Bailey's got
love having the rescue for PTSD at our VFW. They're actually supposed to be eventually. Sam's going to get like a obstacle course, or I don't know what you call it for dogs, the course,
Mhm.
training course, and she's supposed to put it out back at the VFW.
Oh,
So
that's
it'll be
neat.
an extra addition to the class, or maybe more classes. I'm not for sure how she's going to do it, but we love having them there. Having them there, and just the fact that there's 30 to 35 veterans that are in our post and seeing what the Tomball VFW does, and they're not members. So when they're there, I don't want to inundate them with, "Hey, come be a VFW member." I want it to
Mhm.
be so welcoming that eventually they'll come to us and be like, "You know what? I want to be a member of this VFW." But
Yeah, and they're improving it too, they're
yeah,
doing a lot to
absolutely.
improve it, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
if 8790 wasn't the way they were, I'd come out there to y'all too,
What do
Yeah.
you mean?
Huh?
Would you
If
say if
80
8790 wasn't where they were?
yeah, because they're close to my house.
Oh, okay, gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
they're 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
got you. I
so,
thought you lived up here. Okay, I got you. I got
no, I don't know. I live in Houston. Ugh,
you.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're lucky. I live up here near 99, so if I need to go downtown, it's easy to get on Hardy or up here. But I like living up here near Tomball and Spring.
So I
You
take care
stay
of
out of the
someone.
traffic.
I take care of this lady right here.
Look at that.
Yeah. Can you have a picture of your mom holding a Tommy gun?
You know what? I actually do somewhere. My mom and my father's a Marine, and my mom and my dad sent me a picture of them holding. That is that a Thompson?
Yeah, it's a Thompson.
Yeah.
That's at the FBI shooting range in the basement of headquarters, FBI headquarters.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, mom's retired FBI.
I got a picture of my mom like trying to. She was a nurse, very very proper woman, not
Mhm.
mean in any way, but she's like giving me the snarl and holding like a little pistol, AR-15 pistol.
Uh-huh.
That my dad, it may or may not be legal, I don't know. But my dad had it, so they sent me pictures, little, almost like Polaroid pictures back in 2003. And I open a package and I see my dad. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks like my dad. He looks mean. And then I get through the pictures and there's a picture of my mom. That'll fire you up for 3 or 4 weeks when you see a picture of your mom in a Marine bandana and holding a weapon. It's pretty cool. So.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So we had that picture done up, and we put caption underneath there. My grandma is more badass than yours, and I gave it to my nieces.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, so
Well, that picture right there holds a lot of weight.
yeah. So yeah, she's a hoot. There she is there at a restaurant making a funny face. But yeah, mom's written a few books and so forth. She's a great gal. Yeah.
That's the mess around and find out face right there.
Yeah. So she's a good gal. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of a gun guru. I've been around guns all my life and did gun work for law enforcement, all that so forth too. So yeah, I built a few too. Yeah. This is my truck gun.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah. I was recently on another podcast with Dan Regalia. You have me in your bar at your post. Do you have beer on tap?
Yes.
Dan Regalia, he's called the Tap Man, and
Okay.
he owns a little business called Texas Tap Handles, and he does custom tap handles.
Oh, really?
So
I'm gonna have to look that up.
yeah, if you need like custom VFW, post tap handles made or something like that, he can do them.
It's
Yeah.
called Texas Tap Handles.
Texas Tap Handles. Yeah, Dan Regalia
Okay.
is a Marine. Yeah, great guy and so forth, and he's out in Katy. He was on podcast a couple weeks ago. But he's a really
I have
good
to
guy.
go back and look at that one.
Yeah, we're talking guns and everything and bringing up pictures of different guns. I was like, yeah, this is my new duty carry. Not duty carry. This is one of my everyday carry guns,
I have that's what I carry, a 6 hour 2022.
That's the 320 M18. That's the
Okay.
military issue one. Or else I'll
Yeah.
carry this little Shield Plus 9,
Nice.
Yeah. Depending on what part of town I'm driving in.
That 6 hour that you had, it's got an extended magazine in there?
21 rounds.
Yeah, yeah, nice. I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, I had lunch this past Thursday with a bunch of HVD retired K9 lieutenant and a sergeant with K9 and a couple K9 officers and another sergeant in a burglary and theft division. I used to work for HVD too.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked in their crime lab, evidence and so forth, working with guns and so I had lunch with them and they said, "Hey, what are you carrying today?" And I had that on, and he goes, "What's on the other side?" I said, "Oh, those are spare mags." I said, "Why so much?" I said, "I got to drive down to Southwest Houston, so
Right.
I'm just prepared."
Got to be prepared.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. But so what else is coming up with the post? Anything?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have let me look at the calendar real quick. We have a trunk or treat coming up on the 29th at 5 p.m. That's businesses, individuals come out, just park in our parking lot, and we'll start handing out candy. I think we're going to do some Halloween karaoke, stuff like that. And then 3 November, of course, is the fundraiser for the USO Care Package event. Starts at 10 a.m. And then December 17th, we're actually having a breakfast with Santa at the Tomball VFW post starting at 9 a.m. That'll go to about noon. And then on that same day, we're actually doing a homeless outreach down at Minute Maid Park. So we'll be taking in a bunch of toiletries, a bunch of underwear, undergarments, and socks and things like that, and health screenings. And I think we're going to try and probably take. I forget what the name of the group is right now because I don't have it written in front of me. But there's a group that goes down there and looks specifically for homeless veterans. So I think they're going to go down there with us again this year, and just going to try to make a little dent in the big issue that is homelessness in Houston. We'll try to help as much as we can.
There's some great organizations in downtown Houston that work with the homeless veterans.
Moving Waters is one of them. Yeah, that's
Vast
one of them that's going to help
Texas
us.
and Cloud
Yeah.
Break and so forth. Yeah, there's some good ones down there. Yeah.
I tell you, I may have to ask you some of the organizations you use because they would probably be beneficial for us to work with them as well.
Vets US is another one.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I had on Army veteran Valerie James,
Right.
and she's been homeless twice in her life between
Yeah,
deployments.
I've heard her story. I think it might have been
Yeah.
on your podcast, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
she was on my podcast,
Right.
and
Okay.
she brought on another veteran he's got 28 misdemeanors, 3 felonies, and a federal charge.
Right.
And he went through the Veterans Court, and he went through different programs that Valerie works with and so forth. And now he owns his own business. He has a power washing business, you know. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Sean
it is.
Ellis, our VFW District 4 commander, goes to Veterans Court sometimes, and he actually tells whoever listen, whether it be the district attorney, whether it be just people that are there, that we want to be involved in Veterans Court so that we can be an outlet. You know, we can talk to them. We can probably have better rapport for them to complete what they need to complete, and while they're completing the hours they need to complete, maybe they can partake of some of our programs. So to me, that's the best part is they come in, assess what they may or may not need, and then push them off to what they need. And
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
that's the best thing because a lot of people, if they're doing uh, their service hours, if they're doing their community service hours at a place that doesn't understand veterans, the gruffness, maybe the PTSD that shuts of them down, that's not going to be good for anybody. So we understand veterans. We deal with veterans all the time. Um, we want to help veterans. It's not a chore for us to help veterans. So I think it's altogether Veterans Court should partner with VFWs in all of Houston much better than probably they do now. But we're working on that. Sean Ellis is working on that. He's made some headway. So
yeah.
it's a good thing.
I had on one of the judges recently that y'all gave an award to recently, Judge Jason Long.
Right.
Yeah. So y'all recently gave him a plaque recently,
Mm-hmm.
within like the past 2 weeks, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So, and his wife Carol is a Marine. She's a good friend of mine too, and real good people. Yeah. So
It seems like we know a lot of the same people.
yeah,
I feel it's crazy. I go around and it seems like whether I'm working with Lone Survivor, whether I'm working with the Chamber of Commerce, Mutual of Omaha, excuse me, the Tomball VFW, Combat Vets, Project Zero, Got Your Six Culture. I've probably forgotten something, but all these groups that I work with, uh, the main theme of all of them is helping veterans.
that's the
And
main thing.
I
Yeah.
I just can't get away from helping veterans. Evidently, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad to hear you're going to continue. Yeah, I actually have a good friend of mine that's got a podcast too. He's Charlie Mike, the podcast, Raul Marino. I don't know if you've heard of
I've
him.
seen that. No, I've seen it on Facebook. I've seen
Yeah,
it. I've seen the Facebook page for it.
yeah. He and that's his logo right there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Continue
he's
mission, Charlie White.
yeah. He's also got a little apparel business and so forth. And then his co-host is William Gray, and William Gray is with he used to be with Impact a Hero, and that's when I met William Gray was with when he was with Impact a Hero. They actually helped me out. Impact a Hero did.
William Gray always pops up as as like it's Garay, right?
Right.
Yeah. He always
Yeah,
pops up as Facebook. So evidently we're moving in the same with the
yeah.
same people.
Real good guy, real good guy. He and his wife run a snow cone business, and they do a lot of events on weekends.
Right.
And William does a lot of speaking at events. He still works with Impact Hero, does speaking at Combined Arms and so forth. But he's he's a Rose co-host and so forth, and he sets up all the podcasts and everything, and Raul takes all the recognition from William. That's what he does. Yeah, Raul, are you listening? We actually listen to each other's podcasts all the time. Yeah. So
That's actually what I said to. That's what I was trying to tell you without telling you that I'm kind of boring. Is most of these people that I work with, I am the person that's in the background doing things, so I actually don't talk that much. So most people think that I don't talk or don't like to talk. That's not really the thing. But all these people that I work with are talkers. Like Sean Ellis can talk forever. Matt Johnson can talk forever. Kyle Shudik will talk to you for 4.5 hours about helping veterans. So I get in front of these people, and I got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so I just listen most of the time. But it is amazing to see what our veteran community is doing in Houston, specifically Texas also, and then nationally. Just think about the amount of ability that veterans have to bring to any industry they're in. It's something that, to me, it's just what I'm called to do. I want to help veterans get what they need. I want to help veterans along their journey. So
Now you're doing a good job. You're at a minute, an hour and 6 minutes.
we've been talking. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. You're
Doesn't
doing a
even
good
seem
job.
like an hour.
talking. Yeah, I know, but you've been doing a good job. I always like to have at least a good 30-minute podcast,
Right.
and as long as it's interesting and it sounds good and everything, it's more the merrier. That's fine with me. But you have a lot of information, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of organizations you're involved with. One thing I do want to bring up though again is this Project Zero. Bring that up again. Let's hear about that again.
So the Project Zero Alliance is Cal Shudik is, I think, the founder, and he's also on the board. So they have a large board. So they basically what they do is they'll take first responders or military members, and they'll get them therapy appointments. Maybe the VA doesn't have an appointment. Maybe they don't want to go to the VA. Maybe they're disgruntled with that system. But what he does is he gets therapists that will give appointments to, and he, I don't know the exact workout of what he does with how he funds it and everything. He'll probably have to talk to you about that. But what he does is he gets veterans and first responders the therapy they need from licensed therapists with money that he raises. So that's why Matt Johnson and I wanted to help him really bad. So we threw a charity golf tournament and end up raising a bunch of money for him. And I think they're gonna actually. I don't know if I was supposed to say that out loud that we got that money, but. So I won't say the number again, but I think they're going to give it to him pretty soon. So
That's great. That's great. So yeah, let's have him on the podcast.
Absolutely. He was asking. He said send him a link and he'll jump on. So, but yeah, anytime you want
Yeah,
him,
we'll do a separate one with him and so forth. Yeah, and if
Absolutely.
you want to come on with him and everything, you're welcome to as well.
Sure, I'll sit in the back and look pretty.
Yeah, I actually just talked to another veteran today that he almost left us recently, and he went through Camp Hope. He went through numerous other organizations and so forth. He's got a felony record. He's got a drug problem. Ended up at Camp Valor, which is a newer one up in Conroe. And we donated a bunch of food and so forth to them one weekend. But then he fell off the wagon, and they found him on the side of the road, kind of like a Ford.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he was in a coma, and they didn't think he was going to make it. And I kept calling all weekend, checking on him, and they're worried about his temperature. If his temperature went up anymore, they were going to pull the plug on him,
right?
Because he'd been in a coma so long. But his temperature finally came down, and he's out, and now he's in a program up in Huntsville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was just talking to him today, and I told him, I said, you get together a story about what's happening with veterans in Huntsville, and I'll put you on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Give him something else to do to keep him going.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm working on different veterans in different areas. I got Heather Herlong Stevens she's a combat Army medic, and she's president of Blue Star Moms, Montgomery County, Spring Creek area.
Right.
And she's going to do stories on veterans in Montgomery County, which is a large population of veterans.
Right.
And then I've got Valerie James supposed to be coming on and talking about stuff going on in Houston. And then I've got a civilian that's going to be coming on, Myrna Trevino. She's a CASA. Have you heard of her?
I've heard the name, but I don't know her.
She's a civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army. A lot of great.
I think I've seen her through Liza Garza through AUSA. I think I've seen her at one of their luncheon. Yeah, maybe that's where I know the name from.
Yeah, great gal. Someone have her.
That's another Liza Garza. She's pretty amazing too. She does a lot of work with us. So
yeah, I'll probably have Myrna.
Amazing things.
I'll probably have Myrna interview or something one time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got a variety, and then I got this gal coming on here once a month. This woman is hilarious.
She's the comedian you were talking about?
Yeah. She's retired Lieutenant Colonel Robin Phoenix Johnson. She was a logistics, she was in logistics and so forth, and her husband's an Apache pilot. She's hilarious. She's absolutely hilarious. So she's got a bestbrigademedicine.com, and they're going traveling around the country doing their comics and everything. But laughter's the best medicine. She's really funny. I mean, she tells a story. She wanted to spice up her life with her husband. She bought a stripper pole, and she gives it to her husband and said, "Hey, install this for me." So she goes out shopping and comes back later, and he goes, "I installed your pole for you." And she walks in the bedroom. She says, "Where is it?" He goes, "It's against the wall there. It's got all your clothes hanging on it, So he hung it up horizontally and said, "You wanted more closet space, so I figured you'd like this better,
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know. I mean, she's really funny. She really is. So she's gonna be coming on once a month as well. Yeah. But yeah, she wants to make a trip to Houston. And when she does, she wants to do some posts and so forth around town. I was telling her about the different ones. I told them about yours, and I told
Yeah,
them
we
about
should get like a little comedy show or something because I did something where I wanted someone to write. I'm gonna have a. Have you heard of the So Smoking Gooder show?
the what?
The So Smoking Gooder show. It's a show about Texas barbecue. So basically, it's a recap show, information education show for all the things going on. So I wanted to do like a Tonight Show version of their show at our VFW. So I wanted comics to come on and like kind of open the show and tell some jokes, and then the host come on do the So Smoking Gooder show. So I put that out on the VFW Facebook, and a bunch of Houston comics like answered back saying, "Yeah, I'll write some jokes for you. When's the show?" So we're gonna have that show. And I think there's an audience to have it, whether it be at 8790 or 2427, or maybe even further south somewhere. I
There
think
was a
that'd be a good
veteran.
idea.
There was a veteran that did that in Houston. He created a comedy show at an American Legion post, and I don't think it was that too big of a hit, But I'm hoping she's a veteran, and all her comics are veterans or spouses of veterans. So I think she'd be a better hit,
Right.
Yeah. So that'd be good to have on.
Yeah, I'd love to do like a comedy night, little comedy special or something,
Yeah.
charity event or something like that. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. So
Did you when you were at the post, did you walk out back and see the outdoor stage we have there?
no.
So the stage is it's huge. I think it's 40 feet wide by 20 feet deep. It's got a cover on it. Um, Jimmy Vaughn's going to be playing there on 3 November, but it would be great if we could end up doing something like a comedy show or something for veterans, maybe another USO sponsored event. Who knows?
Yeah.
They're big for comedy.
Now, y'all used to have a fall festival, didn't you?
A fall festival. Yeah, we've had all kinds of different things, but we've had
Because
now.
I did a fall festival maybe 2 years ago with y'all.
Right.
It was in the back, and I set up selling coffee, and I thought you had a cook-off going on too.
Yeah, it was probably the either the October Booby Q or the you said it was in the Booby Q. Yeah, they usually have a fall festival and a craft fair inside the main hall, and they'll have all kinds of vendors on the outside. I think I remember the one you're talking about, but we have so many that they kind of run together sometimes.
Are they still having that or not?
Yeah, we still have the cook-offs. We have a cook-off in April that's called Our Heroes Wear Combat Boots. It's
But
sanctioned by.
you have one coming up this month though. For October.
No, we already had the Booby Q earlier this month.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
it already happened. And then I think there's another one going on there where it's a wedding. There's some people getting married at a cook-off, so they're throwing an actual cook-off. Have a bunch of teams there and stuff. But yeah, I don't know about the fall festival.
Yeah. So, well, I think I just said I don't know if you saw the comment I put up earlier from a chat, but I had someone chime in on chat. I didn't see who it was, but it was probably
Oh yeah, looking and sounding good, Chris. Keep it up.
Yeah. Does it say who it was on there? Because I can't read their name.
No, it just says Facebook user.
Yeah, I think it was probably Jeff Gonzalez. Yeah, from LSWO. So his whole family are veterans. So is his wife and his sister-in-laws and everything. We're going to have a podcast with him. We're going to do All in the Family Gonzalez style.
Nice.
Yeah. But Jeff is going to start doing. I think he might start doing podcasts soon too himself. He's gotten a.
It's same type theme, just veterans helping veterans and talking.
Yeah,
Or?
I think he's mainly going to do it on softball league and stuff like that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, but good guy, real good guy. He and his whole family just got back from a week-long cruise somewhere. Yeah, so well, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you bringing me on.
Yeah, I know you had some good information to put out there about your posts and everything, and about everything you're doing. And instead of you sitting in the back like you do when I walk in there, and I figured I'd get you on the.
Yeah, you see me sitting back there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Every time. Yeah, in fact, I was surprised not to see you this past weekend.
I was actually I was helping Matt Johnson move, so I came in at like 6:30 that morning and set up the hall a little bit, and then or 7:30, excuse me, let Sam and them in, and then I saw Laura for a few minutes, and I had to leave, so I came back. I was back and forth all day yesterday to the
Yeah,
place, but I did see a bunch of people in there, and I was running around like crazy, but I love seeing. I love when Laura says she'll text me, late the Friday night before, and be like, "Hey, you gonna be there at 7:30?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And that's one of the funnest things to do is, get up early in the morning, eat some breakfast, drink some coffee, hooah, and then go and then go into and talk to Laura and Eric and Sam and just watch everybody come in there for training. It's so cool because we have a bunch of our members from the Tomball VFW post that are doing it as well. So I love that organization.
yeah. And then the high school kids too. We have this one girl, Allie, that comes in every week, every month, and she works with Bailey for me because this year, with my 4 trips to the hospital, I was off on my crutches and a walker and then a cane, and so I couldn't do it all. So Allie would chip in and help out with Bailey. So her and Bailey got along real good.
So we have a scholarship that we give every year to the high school. What do they call it? Pause for Pets? What is the high school organization that volunteers with?
I think she does that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we give a scholarship every year and renew it while they're in college, $1,500 scholarship. So
Hey,
if you're listening, go volunteer with the Rescue for PTSD if you're in high school, and you may get a scholarship out of it. Just talk to Laura Murray.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she's going to take care of Allie, I hope. But hey, Allie's a great kid. Yeah.
I'm sure that'll probably, she'll be talking to me about it soon.
Yeah, I'm sure probably Laura might be listening tonight to this podcast, because you're on.
Maybe. Hi, Laura.
Maybe. Yeah. So, yeah, I had her on one of my first podcasts, and it got screwed up, and I had video, but I had no sound.
Oh, okay.
And then the sound was separated. I had the sound on the audio podcast, but then the video had no sound, so I couldn't post the video. So we're going to do it again one weekend. We're going to go out there and do another podcast, out there.
Yeah, I want to see the one that you did where you were out at a class and you had a bunch of people just coming through. I'm going to have to, I couldn't find it today when I was looking for it, but I'm going to have to go back and look at that one because you had a bunch of people on one day.
Oh, the
seemed
podcast?
Like you were interviewing a bunch of people that one day and giving everybody coffee.
At the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the one that it got screwed up.
Oh, that is the one that screwed up.
That's the one that got screwed up. Yeah. So, and I was still learning on how to do all this stuff, and it's just, yeah, I felt bad about that too because we had some great people on there. We even had Sam on there,
Right.
And I had Michael Stone on there, and then I had another out-of-state Marine that got a service dog given to him. That he's from out of state.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a good one. But we'll do it again out there one weekend. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing you out at 3 November at our USO Care Package event. Can't wait to have you out there. And if you're listening, come on out and see what's going on at our VFW post and be a part of the assembly of 10,000 care packages, and then watch Jimmy Vaughn on our outdoor stage starting about 4:30. Yeah. I couldn't thank you more for bringing me on. Thanks for promoting our big event here. So.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on too. Yeah, good talking with you, great chat and so forth. And one last thing I always like to say is, something I forgot to say is this: my sponsors. I got to put this up. I got to take care.
Oh yeah, can't forget the sponsors.
Yeah, patriotknifecoffee.com. Use discount code podcast, save 20% off your order of coffee, and also check out Charlie Mike Military Apparel. Use the discount code Charlie Mike and get free shipping. So I appreciate y'all coming on. And then one last thing I like to do is, where's it at? Where's it at? There it is right there. You've already seen this artwork. This is the color artwork right here. Is Never Let Them Be Forgotten.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, Tycho. Thanks for
Yes,
coming
sir.
on.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I appreciate you very much.
You've been listening to Vets and Coffee, the podcast. As you can see, veterans and coffee are Tree's passions, and we want to make a difference in the veterans community. And with your help and continued listenership, we'll do exactly that. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. See you next time on Vets and Coffee, the podcast.